The applause was already rolling across the quad when I stepped forward in my gown, trying to steady the shaking in my legs. I kept telling myself I just needed a few more minutes. Walk to the stairs, climb them, take the degree I had clawed my way toward while working almost every waking hour in Providence. Then I could finally breathe. But my body had other plans. My vision wavered as the dean called another name. I blinked fast, pretending I could force the world back into focus. Heat pooled behind my eyes. Someone beside me murmured, "Olivia, you okay?" I nodded, or at least I thought I did. My knees buckled anyway. The ground rushed up in a blur of black robes and gasps. For a second, I heard everything my name. Footsteps pounding, someone shouting for medical staff. Then, sound thinned into a faint ringing. Cool hands touched my face. Someone repeated, "Stay with us." I tried. I really tried. When I opened my eyes again, the sterile ceiling lights of the emergency wing floated above me, a blanket pressed warm against my legs, an IV tugging at my arm. A nurse leaned over. "You collapsed from severe exhaustion," she said gently. "We contacted your parents, but no one answered." The words hit harder than the fall. My phone lay on the tray beside me. I reached for it with trembling fingers, expecting a flood of missed calls. Instead, the first thing that lit up the screen was a tag from Chloe, a sunny backyard, a grill smoking behind my sister's perfect smile, my parents at the table beside her. The caption read, "Family Day without the chaos." 2 hours earlier, right around the moment I hit the stage floor, my chest tightened, then loosened in a strange, heavy way. They had chosen barbecue over my graduation. They had chosen sunshine over showing up for me. If you have ever had a moment like that one that cracked open the truth you tried so hard not to see stay with me, there is more to this story, and you are not alone. Keep listening. I grew up in a house where roles were assigned long before we understood what they meant. Chloe was the delicate one, the girl my mother wrapped in softness and excuses. I was the strong one, the daughter my father tapped on the shoulder whenever something needed fixing, calming, or absorbing. "Olivia, help your sister. She is overwhelmed," my mother would say, even when Chloe was only pouting over a crooked braid. "Olivia, take responsibility," my father added whenever something broke, even if Chloe's hands were still shaking from dropping it. One winter night stays with me more sharply than the rest. I was 9, burning with a fever that made the living room spin. Chloe twirled in her new recital costume while my mother straightened the bow on her back. "She needs us there," my mother said as she buttoned her coat. My father nodded at me. "Be a good sport. We will not be long." Then the door closed, and their footsteps faded down the steps. I did not call after them. I already understood my place. Years later, the script had not changed. Every crisis pointed to me. Every bill short. Every panic. Every plea they knew which daughter would say yes. And I always did. Providence felt like freedom the first year I lived there, even with the hospital shifts and late-night classes. I worked 36 hours a week on the floor, another 12 at a tiny cafe, and squeezed my master's coursework into whatever time was left. It was exhausting, but it was mine. My phone, however, never let me forget home. One evening after a double shift, my mother's voice spilled through the speaker the moment I picked up. "Olivia, we are short on the water bill again. Your father's hours were cut. Can you handle it?" Before I could answer, Chloe texted, "My card declined. I need help. Liv, just this once." It was never just once. When I hesitated, my father called immediately. "Do not make this difficult. You know your sister cannot manage these things." Then came the line he always used to pin me in place. "You are the strong one." I pressed my phone to my forehead. "I will transfer it tonight," I said, voice low. "At work?" Evan noticed the strain in my face. "You look wiped out." You pushing too hard again? Maya later shoved a cup of soup into my hands. Liv, you cannot keep carrying everybody. One day your body is going to quit before you do. I laughed it off, but her eyes told me she felt the truth before I did. The first warning came during a night shift when my pen slipped from my hand. It clattered against the counter, and the chart blurred in front of me. Evan glanced over. Liv, you are shaking. I just need coffee, I muttered, flexing my fingers until they stopped trembling. The second warning hit a few days later. I stood up too fast, and the hallway rolled sideways. I grabbed the doorway, waiting for the floor to steady beneath me. A nurse passing by frowned. You should sit. Seriously? But I kept moving. I always kept moving. That afternoon, while I waited for the bus, another notification from Chloe popped up. A picture of her with a fresh manicure, smiling into the camera. The caption read, "Treating myself. I deserve it." 30 minutes earlier, she had begged me for help with her rent. I locked my phone, pressing my thumb to the cold metal. Something in my chest dipped, then tightened. On the walk home, the world tilted again. I caught the railing beside a storefront, breathing through the dizziness. A man nearby asked, "You need help?" "I am fine," I said automatically. My pulse hammered too loudly to believe it. When I reached my apartment, Maya was waiting outside my door with takeout. "You look pale," she said, stepping inside with me. "Liv, listen to me. Bodies do not whisper, they warn." I nodded, but only because I did not have the strength to argue. Graduation morning felt like it belonged to someone else. I kept telling myself to smile, to stand straight, to pretend my heart was not thudding unevenly beneath the gown. When I reached the field, families were waving balloons and shouting names. I scanned the bleachers anyway, even though a quiet part of me already knew. No Hartmans. A vibration buzzed in my pocket. My mother traffic on the highway. "We will get there soon." Another message arrived seconds later. "Go ahead without us." I closed my eyes for a moment, steadying my breath. Olivia Hartman. The dean called. I stepped forward, but my legs felt disconnected from the rest of me. The stage lights doubled, then tripled. Someone in my row whispered, "She does not look good." I forced a smile and took one more step. The world tilted hard to the left. A roaring sound filled my ears. My knees gave out. Gasps cut through the applause. A woman shouted. Call medical hands slid under my shoulders, voices rising around me. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. The next thing I knew, I was staring at the emergency room ceiling again. Dr. Whitaker leaned over me with a stern softness. "Olivia, you collapsed from severe exhaustion and heart strain. You are extremely lucky this did not happen somewhere alone." His words blurred at the edges, but one thought pushed through everything. Did my family come? My voice barely carried. He hesitated. We called several times. No one answered. The silence that followed was heavier than any collapse my body could have given me. I was discharged after 2 days, still moving like my bones were heavier than they should be. Back in my apartment, I sank onto the couch, pulled the blanket over my legs, and closed my eyes. The room stayed quiet for maybe 10 minutes. Then my phone began its frantic vibration on the side table. Buzz, 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 a pause, then more. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I ignored it until the sound tightened something in my chest. When I finally reached for the phone, the screen glared back with a number that made my stomach knot. 54 missed calls. All from Mom, Dad, Home, and Chloe. New messages loaded in a frantic stream. Olivia. Answer. This is serious. Pick up right now. You cannot disappear like this. Chloe is in trouble. Do something. I scrolled upward, confused by the urgency until the attachments appeared. A picture from my father, a formal notice from a bank. Another, a loan document with my name typed across the top. Then a close-up of a signature at the bottom. My own name, written in familiar curves I had not drawn. A sharp breath left me. No, they did not. It was a scan, an old signature from the rental form I had signed at 18. They had copied it, used it, attached it to a $31,500 renovation loan. My phone buzzed again. Chloe this time. Liv, please. They said the bank will not talk to us. They need you to confirm. Do not ruin this for me, for her, not for all of us, not for our family, for her. Another message from my mother. You are making this harder than it needs to be. Fix it. Something inside me went still. They had not called when I collapsed on campus. They had not called when I lay hooked to monitors. But now they needed the signature they stole from me. I sat in the quiet apartment, the phone still vibrating in my hand, and felt the first clear edge of something I had never allowed myself to hold, anger. My hands were still shaking when I texted Maya, "Can you come over? I need you." She arrived less than 20 minutes later, letting herself in with the spare key I had given her months ago. One look at me and her expression shifted. Liv. What happened? I handed her my phone. She scrolled through the messages, her jaw tightening with every swipe. When she reached the loan document, she froze. Olivia, she said slowly, this is identity fraud. They used your signature. They used your information. This is criminal. The word criminal cut through the haze I had been drowning in. I swallowed. They will say it was a mistake. They always say it was a mistake. No, Maya said firmly. Not this time. She pulled her laptop from her bag. You are talking to someone who actually knows what they are doing. Within minutes, she had a financial attorney on a video call. A man with silver glasses introduced himself. I am Adrian Cole. Show me the documents. I held my phone up with both hands so it would not shake. He studied the signature, the dates, the notices. Then he exhaled heavily. This loan was opened without your authorization. You do not owe a single dollar. And if they pressure you to take responsibility, you have every right to protect yourself legally. My throat tightened. So I am not trapped. You have never been trapped, he said. You were made to believe you were. Maya squeezed my shoulder, grounding me in a way my family never had. For the first time, the weight on my chest shifted, not gone, but no longer holding me down. The next morning, my phone rang before the sun had cleared the buildings. Maya sat beside me on the couch, her hand resting on my knee as I hit speaker. My mother's voice burst through instantly. Olivia, finally. Do you have any idea how stressed we have been? Why did you not answer? I was in the hospital. I said. Silence. A long, heavy beat. Then my father cut in, his tone sharp. We do not have time for this. You need to call the bank today. They will not speak to us without you. Chloe's future is on the line. Maya's eyes widened, but she stayed quiet. I kept my voice steady. You used my signature without my permission. Another silence, this one tighter. Angrier. My mother snapped first. We only did it because you are responsible. Chloe cannot handle these things. Stop being dramatic. That word hit like a slap. Dramatic. The same word Chloe had written under that picture while I lay unconscious in the emergency room. My breath came out slowly. I am not signing anything. My father's voice rose. If you do not help, we could lose everything. You created this, I said quietly. Not me. My mother's voice cracked. Olivia, please. Think about your family. I have, I said. For my entire life, Maya whispered. Tell them. Live. So I did. I spoke to an attorney. I said, what you did is illegal. If you contact me again about this loan, I will protect myself. The line went dead quiet. Not a breath. Not a word. Then my father growled, "You are threatening us." "I am protecting myself," I said and pressed the red button. The call ended cleanly. The first clean ending my family had ever allowed me. After the call, a kind of trembling calm settled over me. Maya stayed close, watching as I opened my laptop and began severing every tie my family had wrapped around me. First went the automatic payments. Click. The electric bill I had covered for years vanished from my dashboard. Then the shared phone plan. Click. Their lines disappeared one by one. My father tried calling again, but I declined it without hesitation. Maya exhaled softly, as if she had been holding her breath for me. "You are doing the right thing," she said. I nodded, though my hands shook as I moved through each account. "They will be angry." "They already are," she replied. "But anger is easier to face than being used." I opened a drawer and pulled out an old pen thin. Blue. The same one I had used at 18 when I signed that rental form. The same signature they had stolen. Maya watched as I turned it in my fingers. "It is just a pen." "Liv," she said gently. "It was never just a pen," I whispered. Then I dropped it into the trash. A small sound, a small gesture, but it felt like the first door closing that truly belonged to me. The loan defaulted 2 weeks later. A neighbor from Pittsburgh sent a brief message, "Chloe is panicking. The bank is involved." I read it once, set my phone down, and felt nothing but a quiet, steady clarity. By then, I had moved into a small studio in Providence, a place where morning light slid across the floor, and no one expected me to fix their world. Maya helped me haul boxes up the stairs, laughing when I insisted on carrying the heavier ones. "You do not have to prove anything anymore," she said. "I know," I answered, and for the first time, I meant it. One evening, I walked past the university lawn. Another graduation was happening. Families cheering, cameras flashing. A father lifted his daughter into his arms, both of them laughing. Maya touched my shoulder. "You okay?" "Yes," I said. "I finally am. If you have ever rebuilt yourself from the ground up, stay with me. There are more chapters, more strength, more survival to come. Keep listening, your story matters too."